Welcome, racing fans, to this 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race review on Tim Reynolds Show, as I'm reviewing the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the second race of the Cup Series season. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and we would see super speedway type racing at this racetrack, similar to what you would see at Daytona or Talladega. And we would see this race end in NASCAR overtime. And how we got there, we see the driver of the number 2 Mustang for Penske Racing, Austin Cindric, try to regain the lead away from Kyle Larson, driver of the number 5 Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports, with 3 laps remaining. But Larson would make an aggressive block that forced Austin into the wall, and that would bring out the caution after Austin Cindric runs into the number 24 Chevy of William Byron, last week's winner in the Daytona 500, knocking out both drivers out of this race and heading into NASCAR overtime, where we would see some little extra racing, and we would have a race to the finish where the number 20 Toyota, driven by Christopher Bell, regains the lead before a caution would come out after the number 21 Ford, driven by Josh Berry, would get into a wreck, which would bring out the yellow flag, and Christopher Bell would have the lead on that last lap when the caution flag came out, and he wins at Atlanta Motor Speedway for his number 20 Toyota racing team, for Joe Gibbs Racing, their first win of the 2025 Cup Series season. And with that win, Christopher Bell now punches his ticket to the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. A big win for him and Joe Gibbs Racing to kick off the season here, as they got the lead right when they needed to on the very last lap after they seen aggressive racing behind them, which brought out the caution. And we got to give Carson Hocevar, the driver of the number 77 Chevy, a lot of credit, as he finishes a career best second in this race. And man, he was aggressive throughout this race, which really brought up a lot of frustrations from other drivers, including the number 1 Chevy of Ross Chastain, who got spun out earlier by Carson Hocevar, and not to mention the pole sitter Ryan Blaney, the driver of the number 12 Ford Mustang. He also was a little upset with Hocevar after he spun him out late in this race as well. But what an amazing finish. This is Christopher Bell's 10th career win in the NASCAR Cup Series. A big win for him and Joe Gibbs Racing to kick off the season. And guys, we would also see Kyle Larson come up just short in this one on getting his first ever super speedway racetrack win, as Kyle Larson finishes 3rd in this race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This after he failed to finish in 4 of the last 6 races here in Atlanta. This is a good finish and a good way to kick off the season for him, especially after a tough showing of it in the Daytona 500. And guys, we're going to get to also a couple other drivers who unfortunately had some bad days and some wrecks, as we see the number 99 Chevy, driven by Daniel Suarez, last year's winner in Atlanta, in a very, very close 3-wide finish, did not be able to finish this race after getting involved in a wreck. And also, we've seen the number 9 Chevy of Chase Elliott, a strong contender at this Atlanta Motor Speedway track, unfortunately get involved in a couple of wrecks that also ended his day not too well in this one. And guys, how about Kyle Busch, who finished 7th in this one and came up just short of ending that winless streak that dates back all the way to last year's Cup Series season. And now he'll have to try to keep racing hard to get his first win in a long time, especially after winning in the Truck Series over the weekend. You would have thought Kyle Busch definitely could have had a chance in this one, but he does finish top 10. A really good finish for the number 8 Chevy for Richard Childress Racing. As we get to the top 10 finishers here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Christopher Bell obviously finishes in 1st, get his first win of the year and lock himself into the Cup Series playoffs. Carson Hocevar gets his career best finish at 2nd in this one in his number 77 Chevy. Kyle Larson finishes 3rd in his number 5 Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports. Ryan Blaney has a big comeback in this one, man. After being spun out late in the race, he came all the way back from the back of the pack, 22 plus positions, to finish 4th here in this one at Atlanta Motor Speedway in his number 12 Ford Mustang for Penske Racing. And after his teammate Joey Logano in the number 22 Ford Mustang for Penske Racing dominated throughout this race, it was Penske that you would have thought would be in victory lane by the end of it all, but unfortunately it just didn't turn out that way for him or the Ford Mustangs that raced really, really hard in this race. And we see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in his number 47 Chevy rounds out the top 5. Denny Hamlin finishes 6th in his number 11 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Kyle Busch finishes 7th in his number 8 Chevy. We see Bubba Wallace finishes 9th in his number 23 Toyota for 2311 Racing. And John Hunter Nemechek gets his 2nd top 10 finish of the year. And a few other drivers to note that finished outside of the top 10. First is Joey Logano in his number 22 Ford Mustang for Penske Racing, finishes 12th in this one after Joey Logano led a race high 83 laps in this one. And also we see Michael McDowell finishes 13th in his number 71 2021 Chevrolet. After being down as many as 6 laps in this one, he finds a way to get all the way back on the lead lap and finishes strong in 13th in this one. And how about Todd Gilliland? He finishes 15th in his number 34 Ford Mustang after he led 7 laps in this one and was contending early on in this race. And guys, this has been your NASCAR Cup Series race review on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you check out more of my NASCAR Cup Series race reviews and previews, and not to mention my live play-by-play for the NASCAR Cup Series throughout the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. Thank you guys for all your love and support. Thank you, racing fans. Thank you, NASCAR fans. And make sure you check out more of my NASCAR content on one of the most entertaining and electrifying sports entertainment channels on all of YouTube, Tim Reynolds Show. Let's fucking go. It's NASCAR racing time, boys, and stock car racing is back. And next week we head road course racing at the Circuit of Americas in Austin, Texas. And that should be one hell of a race to make sure we cover for you guys right here on Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.